So you're thinking about living in Gulf Shores, Alabama. Maybe you visited before, spent some time at the beach, and thought to yourself, I could actually see myself living here. And honestly, that's how it starts for a lot of people. They come here on vacation, fall in love with the beaches, the atmosphere, the lifestyle, and then they start wondering what it would actually be like to live here full time. But here's the thing, living in Gulf Shores is very different from visiting Gulf Shores. And before you make a move like this, it's really important to understand what your day-to-day life is actually going to feel like. Because for some people, this ends up being exactly what they were looking for. But for others, there are a few things that can be a little different than expected. So in this video, I'm going to walk you through what it's really like living in Gulf Shores, Alabama. The lifestyle, the pace of life, what your typical day might look like, and what you should realistically expect if you're thinking about moving here. And make sure you stick around until the end, because I'll also talk about who Gulf Shores is really the best fit for and who might be better off looking at nearby areas instead. But first, if this is your first time on the channel, I'm glad you're here. I'm Miranda Baldridge with Advantage Real Estate, your local go-to realtor and community connector right here in Baldwin County, Alabama. I help people who are relocating to Gulf Shores, Orange Beach, Foley, Robertsdale, and surrounding areas find the right home and make their move as smooth as possible. And honestly, I get calls, texts, and emails all the time from people who are planning to move to the Gulf Coast, and they want to know what it's actually like to live here before they make that decision. So if you're thinking about moving to this area, make sure you subscribe to the channel, because I share a lot of videos about what it's really like living here and what you should know before you move. If you ever have any questions about homes or different areas, feel free to reach out anytime. All right, let's talk about what it's really like living in Gulf Shores. One of the biggest things you'll notice about living in Gulf Shores is your lifestyle becomes very connected to the beach. And I don't mean just going to the beach every once in a while like you would on vacation. I mean the beach becomes part of your routine. And it might be something as simple as going for a walk in the morning along the water, or stopping by the beach for a couple of hours in the afternoon on your way home, or just knowing that it's always right there whenever you feel like going. For a lot of people, that's one of the biggest reasons they choose to live here. It creates a lifestyle that feels a little more relaxed and a little more connected to the outdoors. And at the same time, living in Gulf Shores also means you're living in a place that people travel to. And that's something that you really start to notice once you're here full time. There are times of the year when the area feels more active, especially during the summer months, spring break, and holiday weekends. You'll see more people around. Restaurants get busier, and the overall energy of the area, it just picks up. For some, that's something that they enjoy because it makes the area feel lively. For others, something they just learn to work around and adjust to over time. Another thing that stands out about living in Gulf Shores is how much time people tend to spend outdoors. Because of the coastal location and the warmer climate, outdoor activities become a regular part of life here. Whether it's going to the beach, being out on the water, fishing, or just spending time outside, a lot of daily life revolves around being outdoors rather than being inside all the time. And for people moving from those colder climates, that's usually a big change and often a positive one. Now, when it comes to the overall feel of the area, Gulf Shores has more of a classic beach town atmosphere. There are restaurants, local shops, and different attractions spread throughout the area. It doesn't feel like a big city. It feels more like a place where people come to enjoy the environment, slow down a bit, and spend more time outside. But at the same time, you still have access to the things you need for everyday life. You're not completely isolated. You can still get to the grocery stores, medical services, and nearby areas like Foley for additional shopping and convenience. The balance is something a lot of people appreciate. Another important thing to understand is how housing works in Gulf Shores. There's a mix of different types of properties here: condos, townhomes, and single-family homes. A lot of properties are located closer to the water, and for many buyers, proximity to the beach becomes a big factor in their decision. Some people prioritize being within walking distance to the beach, while others are okay being a short drive away if it means more space and a different type of home. So when people are looking to move here, one of the biggest decisions they make is how close they actually want to be to the water. And that decision can have a big impact on both lifestyle and budget. Another thing people notice after living here for a while is that the pace of life feels different compared to larger cities. Things tend to move a little slower, a little more relaxed. There's less of that constant rush that you might feel in a big metro area. And for many, many, that's exactly what they're looking for. It gives them a chance to step away from that fast-paced environment and enjoy a more relaxed day-to-day life. At the same time, it's important to understand that this isn't going to feel like a major city. If you're used to having endless entertainment options, big shopping district, or a very fast-paced lifestyle, Gulf Shores is going to feel very different. For some people, that's a positive. For others, it's something they got to adjust to. Another thing to keep in mind is living here means your routines may shift depending on the time of year. There are periods when the area feels busier, and then there are times when things quiet down again. That seasonal rhythm is just part of living in a coastal destination. And over time, most residents get used to it and they learn how to plan around it. Now, one thing I always tell people that living in Gulf Shores isn't just about location, it's about the lifestyle. If you're someone who enjoys being near the water, spending time outdoors, and having a more relaxed day-to-day routine, this area can be a really great fit. But if you're looking for something that feels more structured, more consistent year-round, or more like a traditional city environment, you might find that a nearby area like Foley gives you that type of experience while still being close to the beach. So overall, living in Gulf Shores offers a lifestyle that's centered around the beach, the outdoors, and a more relaxed pace of life. But like anywhere, it really depends on what you're looking for and what you want your day-to-day life to feel like. And if you're thinking about moving to Gulf Shores, Orange Beach, Foley, or anywhere along the Alabama Gulf Coast, please feel free to reach out. I help people relocate to this area all the time, and I'd be happy to help you figure out which area fits your lifestyle and exactly what you're looking for. You can call, text, or email anytime. All my contact information is below in the description. And if you found this video helpful, make sure you subscribe to the channel because I share a lot of videos about what it's really like living here along the Alabama Gulf Coast. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video.